Everyone's just grabbing bottles out of the packages, just like in Germany. Hey guys, what's up? It's Kelly again, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who might not know me and you're new to my channel and you're wondering why I'm on YouTube, I mean, I'm also wondering why I'm on YouTube. I want to give you a little bit of context to why I'm making this video. So I lived in Germany for about a year and a half, and I just got back to the States. I've been living in DC for 2 months, and my German boyfriend, who I've been with for over a year now, is here with me in DC visiting on a non-immigrant visa. We went to a grocery store like the first weekend he was here, and he suffered from what can only be described as sticker shock, which basically means that he was floored by how expensive the price of food was here in DC specifically. It's different all over the country, but specifically in DC it's very expensive. And so we started looking around trying to find some cheaper grocery stores to go to, maybe a little bit outside of the city, and we stumbled across a bunch of ALDIs. So we headed to an ALDI, and he was like a kid in the candy shop, you guys. He was so excited to see the prices, which were much more reasonable, and just like having that little bit of familiarity in a foreign country for him. And it was really exciting to see. So I thought, hey, why not make a video to show you guys, because I have a lot of Germans that watch my channel, to show you guys what a ALDI in the US looks like. And for those of you who are living in the US, if you didn't know, ALDI is actually a German grocery store chain, and it's here in the US, and they actually run their stores very similar here as they do in Germany. So if you've been shopping in an ALDI, you've been shopping the German way the whole time. So I'm gonna take you guys around the store, and I'll point out some of the differences and some of the similarities between ALDIs in the US and ALDIs in Germany. So let's check it out. So first things first, the carts, just like in Germany, you have to deposit a coin to be able to pull one out. I've got my quarter here, but in Germany it would be a €1 coin. So if you watch my German grocery store video, then you would have heard me talk about how the entrances to grocery stores are a little bit different between Germany and the US. Oftentimes in Germany, you'll see these like gates that will open up to divide like the entrance from the exit. In the US, usually you have like entirely separate doors, and then here you'll see like the food is being used as a lane to separate the entrance from the checkout area. It's actually kind of funny, and I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but the peanut butter aisle here is just as sad as the peanut butter aisles that I would see in Germany. Usually in US grocery stores, I mean, you have at least like 20 different types of peanut butter to choose from, but here there's only like 4. So if you look behind me, you'll see that all of the food items are being held mostly in like these little cardboard crates that they come in whenever they're shipped to the grocery store. So US grocery stores normally don't display their products like that. Normally you take all of the products out of the boxes and then put them on the shelves. But this is an ALDI, and so they're doing it the same way that you would see it in Germany, which is in the boxes. And I think probably because it cuts down in time, which means it cuts down in labor, which means you have to hire fewer employees, which of course means lower prices. Now, this is actually something that you would not see in a German ALDI because they don't refrigerate their eggs. In the US, we do, because during the whole farming process, we actually wash the eggs, which means we wash off the protective coating that is kind of, I don't know, given to the egg whenever it's laid. And so we have to keep them refrigerated, whereas in Germany, they don't wash them, and so they're able to store eggs at room temperature. So you would never see eggs in a cooler like this. They would just be sitting out on a shelf. These spices are so much cheaper here than they are in other grocery stores in the US. You really just wouldn't see bags of flour and sugar sitting on pallets on the ground in like a normal US grocery store. But you're seeing it here in the ALDI in the US, and you would see that everywhere in grocery stores in Germany. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just really don't remember seeing that many energy drinks in Germany. I would see like the 5-hour energy drinks, like what's over my shoulder here, but not like a lot of Monsters and Red Bulls and so on, which is what you see in a lot of US grocery stores, and you're seeing the knockoff versions here in this Aldi in the US. Everyone's just grabbing bottles out of the packages, just like in Germany. These water bottles are a lot smaller than what you'd see in Germany. These are only about half a liter, and in Germany you usually buy bottles that are 1.5 liters. I've been to a couple different Aldis now, and they all kind of have a little bit of a different setup, but pretty much with the same idea of using the cardboard boxes to display their produce. In other US grocery stores, you just wouldn't really see that. They're normally shelved or on special little sections. They're not sitting in the boxes that they were like shipped to the store in. I think one of the food prices that stuck out like the most to my boyfriend was the price of bell peppers, or paprika as Germans will call them. In Germany, you can get like 3 multicolored bell peppers for €1. Here, you're lucky to get 1 bell pepper for $1. It's a lot more expensive, and I remember talking to one of my classmates here about it, and he was just like, oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to afford the multicolored peppers anymore. Like, you get green. I'm really excited, guys. I just found some white asparagus. In Germany, this is known as Spargel, and it is a huge, huge deal in Germany. It's seasonal in the spring, and everybody just goes crazy for it. I mean, it's not fresh, but I'm really excited to find some in the US, and I'm gonna buy this and take it home to my boyfriend. So it looks like I found the authentic German food section, and all of the foods seem to be produced by the same company, which is Deutsche Küche. I really didn't learn German. German kitchen, a super creative name there. And since I know you guys are interested in seeing what the prices are here, I'll show them to you. And just so you know, this really is significantly cheaper than what you would find in like a normal US grocery store, at least here in DC. Don't worry guys, we've got some German sauerkraut here too. For my German viewers, write in the comments what you guys think of this section of German food. I'm really curious what you guys think about it. I went to a lot of different grocery stores in Germany, and there were, in a lot of them, there were like the US little section or the American section of food, and it would basically just be like a bunch of Pop-Tarts and like barbecue sauce and I don't know, salsa. And so I'm curious what you guys think of our interpretation of German food. I'm looking at all these cheeses, and I just started laughing because the first weekend my boyfriend was here, we went to a grocery store so he could pick out whatever he wanted to eat, and he, without me realizing it, bought American cheese, which is a terrible, terrible type of cheese. It's like the least flavorful plastic tasting crap you could buy. So he was a little like, this is what cheese is like in the US, but we do have better kinds. It's a really sad bread section. The tea and coffee aisle in this Aldi just isn't as big as the ones that I saw in the Aldis in Germany. Alright guys, I walked through the whole grocery store twice looking for it, but I did not see any boxed, shelf-stable, like room temperature H-milk like you would see in Germany. I only saw fresh milk and condensed milk. Another difference I want to point out is that this Aldi in the US is super air conditioned compared to the Aldis in Germany. But guys, it is like 98 degrees out right now. In fact, it might have hit 99 by the time that I've been walking around in here. That is so high, and if they didn't have air conditioning at the rate that they have it in here, all of the produce would go bad. This is some really patriotic packaging. It even has a verse from our national anthem down the side of it. Alright guys, behind me is the gummy aisle. Do you see all the gummies? No, you probably don't, because it's just this one little section of Haribo gummy bears. That's it. Not this like excessive, huge area of gummies like you would see in a German Aldi. This is it. It's crazy. These are my boyfriend's absolute favorite. Pretty cool that they have them here. German Aldis don't accept credit cards because then they would have to pay transaction fees, which would drive up the prices of their food. This Aldi has a bagging counter just like all the Aldis you see in Germany. Seriously guys, this is not like a normal feature in American grocery stores. I've only seen this in Germany. Wow, that was some insane technique from the cashier. I am thoroughly impressed. That girl would fit totally right in Germany. If you guys watch my German grocery store video, then you would have heard me talk about how it is like complete and utter panic at the cashier at the grocery stores for me when I'm checking out in Germany, because the cashiers are just throwing items into your cart as fast as possible. It is like a sprint. You're there trying to bag everything as fast as you can, and then you're trying to pay, and it's just like, it's kind of really overwhelming. In the US, we oftentimes have baggers, and if you don't have a bagger, then the cashier will actually be the one bagging all of your goods into whether it's your bags or maybe you're paying extra for bags, and it's a much more like slow, calm process, and of course there's usually some good old American small talk. So I was really curious what the kind of like checkout situation would be in the Aldi in the US, if it would be like the German way or if it would be like a normal US grocery store, and it looks like it's exactly the same as it is in Germany. But fortunately I speak the language, so I'm able to communicate a little easier with the cashier. And she actually did, I didn't record it, but she did tell me that they are timed at the Aldis here for how quickly they check people out. So it looks like it's really similar overall to the way that Aldis are run in Germany. A lot cheaper because they cut down on labor, they cut down on the amount of work that needs to get done, and they're able to be much more efficient than probably what the average US grocery store is. Therefore, they're paying their employees less money, paying fewer salaries, and so they're able to keep the prices lower. It all makes sense now. I think I'm learning more about the German discount culture now that I'm not in Germany than from when I was in Germany. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and click subscribe. I'll be posting videos every week, at least once a week. And thank you so much to all of my patrons. You guys are amazing for all of the support you've given me. If you're interested in my Patreon campaign, go ahead and check out the link. I'll put it in the description below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! It actually took me a while to be able to film me putting my cart back into the little line of carts to be able to get my quarter deposit back and film that, because so many people here are like, oh, I'll give you a quarter if you give me your cart. And I'm like, I'm trying to do something here that's weird and you probably wouldn't understand. So fine, just take it.